Please be ready for a dictation from a material taken from the Wikipedia on the Supreme Court of India, which can be suitable for DDC PA skill and any other skill exam. Part 1, 5 seconds. Start. The Supreme Court of India is the supreme judicial body of the Government of India and the highest court of India under the Constitution. It is the most senior constitutional court and has the power of judicial review. The Chief Justice of India is the head and chief judge of the Supreme Court, and the court consists of a maximum of 34 judges, and it has extensive powers in the form of original, appellate, and advisory jurisdictions. It is regarded as the most powerful public institution in India. As the constitutional court of the country, it takes up appeals primarily against verdicts of the high courts of various states of the Union and other courts and tribunals. It safeguards fundamental rights of citizens and settles disputes between various government authorities as well as the central government versus state governments or state governments versus another state government in the country. As an advisory court, it hears matters which may specifically be referred to it under the Constitution by President of India. The law declared by the Supreme Court becomes binding on all courts within India and also by the union and state governments. Per Article 142 of the Constitution, it is the duty of the President of India to enforce the decrees of the Supreme Court, and the court is conferred with the inherent jurisdiction to pass any order deemed necessary in the interest of justice. In 1861, the Indian High Courts Act 1861 was enacted to create high courts for various provinces and abolished Supreme Courts at Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay, and also the Sadar Adalats in presidency towns in their respective regions. These new high courts had the distinction of being the highest courts for all cases till the creation of the Federal Court of India under the Government of India Act 1935. The Federal Court had jurisdiction to solve disputes between provinces and federal states and hear appeals against judgment of the high courts. The first CJI of India was H.J. Kania. The Supreme Court of India came into being on 28 January 1950. It replaced both the Federal Court of India and the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council, which were then at the apex of the Indian court system. The first proceedings and inauguration, however, took place on 28 January 1950 at 9:45 a.m. when the judges took their seats, which is thus regarded as the official date of establishment. The Supreme Court initially had its seat at the Chamber of Princes in the Parliament building, where the previous Federal Court of India sat from 1937 to 1950. The first Chief Justice of India was H.J. Kania. In 1958, the Supreme Court moved to its present premises. Originally, the Constitution of India envisaged a Supreme Court with a Chief Justice and 7 judges, leaving it to the Parliament to increase this number. In formative years, the Supreme Court met from 10 to 12 in the morning and then 2 to 4 in the afternoon for 28 days in a month. Stop.